So I've been getting questions for months on what happened to SLAMMIN, which is my brand that I started through this YouTube channel. Side note, I'm kind of in a place where I don't really know what kind of content to make also. Like, you know, you get bored doing the same thing all the time. I've already talked about this year, and I'm not like in a like funk about it, but you know, so I want to really enjoy making stuff again. So I'm trying to figure out what that looks like, and who knows, maybe this style of content will turn into it, but you got to evolve. There's a lot of stuff going on the platform that's like, well, there's not a lot of stuff going on the platform, like shit just changes, and if you don't change with it, you get left behind, and that's just like with everything. So everything's just oversaturated. This whole like skateboarding on this platform, like people filming themselves skating on this platform, is oversaturated. There's just too many of it, too much of it. Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of like new talent. Why would someone want to keep watching me, someone who's been here for a while, versus not watching someone new? It's like new and refreshing, you know? Like Dan's killing it. He's like a new face on the platform. Well, not, I mean, he was on my channel for a few years before, but now him doing his own channel, he's like killing it. Fresh new face. He's very charismatic. He's very good at skating. So, you know what I mean? So it's like, why would people choose to watch my skate content over someone like Dan's when it's like, it is better? The reason why I haven't had a SLAMMIN drop in over a year is because, I mean, it's not really a long story, but it's kind of, there's just things to talk about with it, right? So before the pandemic, 2019, I was like building out a team. I was gonna film for a full length, and I was really focusing on that all year. And kind of it all came to a head, and this was right before the I can't even say that fucking word. This was right before like the world shut down. In January of 2020, I came out with a video called Spaz. I had a drop tied to it, and it was something that I put a lot of work into. It was with my friend Chandler. It was a huge passion project, and I was super stoked on it. And I'm still like really proud of it, but it didn't, like, I mean, I don't know how I thought it was gonna hit or what my expectations were. Maybe they were just too high, but it didn't hit the way that I thought it was going to. World shuts down, supply chains like blocked up. It still is. Well, actually, here, let me back up real quick. So I was trying to build out a team for SLAMMIN and make like the thing an actual brand. Then I kind of realized, like, I don't want to be in charge of a bunch of skaters. Like, it was stressful, and it was like kind of, I got no, like, I'm not bummed on anyone that I was like trying to build this with, because obviously like I support when people want to like do things that are good for them. But you know, like everyone just kind of took their footage and like put it elsewhere, and I was saving it all for like a full-length video, and I was kind of like, okay, well, this is done. Like, I don't have any more footage because everyone took it and like put it on the barracks. Which like, obviously personally I was bummed. So I was like, okay, well, what the fuck? But at the same time, I can't hate on what other people are doing when they're just doing like what's best for them. There's no, like, I can't hate on that, you know? The place where I was getting my shit made shut down during the pandemic, obviously, because everything was shutting down, and they couldn't get clothes, they couldn't get ink, they couldn't get all this stuff. So I did one last drop, and this wasn't like planned. I just did a drop in fall. I waited, like, I had gone the longest I had gone without doing a drop since I started this endeavor, and the drop did super well. And it's still my favorite one to date. Like, I loved everything in it, and it was just cool. And after that, I was planning on another drop, and the place that I was getting my stuff made just kind of became like, they couldn't get ink. They were just like, yeah, we'll let you know when we can get it. We'll let you know. And then like months of that back and forth went on. And then eventually, you know, I kind of just like reached out to him. I was like, hey, you're not gonna be making people's merch anymore, are you? And he was like, no. So they like transitioned into like, that business transitioned into like doing other stuff. Like, they had to adjust because, you know, the world shut down. So I was like spending a lot of time like trying to figure out where I was gonna get my shit made, and like it was just a big headache, and I was like, I don't even want to deal with this right now. And while all this was going on, I started working for CCS. Like, I run their TikTok, for those that don't know, and you know, so like a lot of focus was going in on that. And you know, and I kind of just realized like, so first of all, 2020 was like a really good year for me. I think it was a good year for like any creative artist person that does some shit online, because like everyone was inside, and weirdly enough, everyone was like spending money on stuff like that. So yeah, I just kind of realized like, I don't want to be like a giant brand owner. And I kind of like had this idea in mind when I started it that I wanted to be, because like when I first started doing YouTube, I don't really think it like matters anymore, like the division between like core skateboarding and YouTube. So I wanted to like build a brand that was gonna like bridge those two worlds and kind of like unify the thing. And then, you know, that didn't really like happen. And also like Erased kind of did that, which is Luis Mora's brand, for those that don't know. I don't know how you wouldn't. But him and Edwin killed it with that, you know, so there was already that there, and I was like, okay, well, like, that's there. I'm not gonna, like, try to compete with, like, something that's already doing super well, and it's like, they did a really good job. They did a really good job with that brand. Luis is, like, good at making videos, and they just executed everything perfectly, and Edwin's, like, a fucking amazing designer. So I was just kind of like, I don't really know if I want to do this anymore. Because it started to become more of a headache than anything, and I kind of just slowly, like sure, yeah, it's a brand, right? But like anybody on social media that like sells things, it's just like merchandise to like them, right? And side note, just another note to add, Luis, like he transcended that. Like Erased isn't merch for Luis Mora. Like I think Erased is bigger than Luis Mora now, which is like what I wanted to do, but then I was kind of like, yeah, I don't really think I want to do this. I don't want to do what it takes to get to do that. And you know, so hats off to them. Shit is pretty cool. It's sick. I mean, I just kind of pulled back and like sat with it and wasn't super proactive about making stuff. It just became more of a headache than it was fun anymore. And here's the thing too, like I don't like fashion. I like streetwear, if you will, because it's just like t-shirts and hoodies, and like I go to shows and I like band merch, and I've always liked t-shirts and hoodies and just like very simple stuff. Like I'm not a fashion person, and that's fine if like people like it. Like I'm not hating if you like fashion, and like if you're killing it like modeling or whatever, like that's fucking sick. But I just don't like it. So there was no like passion, you know, so I was kind of like, okay, well, I just want to make t-shirts and hoodies anyway. So like maybe I don't need, like I can still do this, but I don't need to put so much emphasis on this shit, like being like, hey, I got a brand. I also think I just became jaded seeing every fucking person on social media being like, hey, look at my brand. I got a brand. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like, is that what I look like? Because I hate that. Like, I was just over it. But yeah, I mean, I have like stuff like ready to make and to drop. Yeah, I just haven't really found a place to make it yet. You know, and now that I've kind of come to this realization, like, I don't want to like sit here and try and like, I don't want to keep going in that direction or keep marketing like SLAMMIN in that direction as like some like brand and like have people buy it thinking that's what it is, because that's disingenuous. And you know, it's like, it's essentially just like merch to my channel, and I'm not trying to like, sure, I know, like I understand that like, okay, it's a brand to the people who are fans of that, like who are fans of like, you know, what we've created, but you know, I don't want people buying it like thinking that it's something that it's not, you know? And like, I mean, it still is what it is. I just haven't had a drop in a long time. So like, whatever it is to you, like that's cool. I just appreciate the support, you know? And like, it was a cool experience to try to like build something. It was cool to like pay other people too. So like, you know, helping out my friends and giving other people opportunities and like shining a spotlight on other people. It's weird because I think like that's like what my channel has become, because in the beginning when I started, it was very much like I didn't know anything about YouTube when I started doing YouTube. I just like started vlogging, and like John was my friend and I saw him doing that, so I just thought that that's what you did. So that's what I did. But then slowly my channel kind of became this thing where I like showcase other people, and like, as you guys know, the last like 2 years it's been Powell that's just been on my channel, and I got thrown into this like filmer corner, which I was like super stressed out about. Like I don't want to film everyone else all the time. I want to move around. I'm sick of sitting on my ass. And it's funny because I started doing other things outside of skating that are active, so I don't have that restlessness like sitting around and filming all day. Like I'm more okay with it now. But now that that's where we are, it's oversaturated. Like all of those dudes have channels now. So it's like we go to the skate park and there is like 5 filmers. I mean, you guys see this because there's a lot of crossover viewership here, and it's like the same video on 5 different channels, and I'm like, oh, okay, I don't want to do this. It just feels like I'm like competing with my friends, and I don't want to be competing with my friends, and like it feels like I'm a part of some weird game that's like, and maybe this is just all in my head, like, which is fine. I rambled off there for a little bit on some other stuff, but you know, the point being, like, Slammin' isn't done. I'm still gonna make stuff, but you know, there was a little time buffer. I hope to have a drop this spring. I hope that answers everyone's question.